Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you to be here tonight. Well, it's what I was born to do, shouting out loud above all of your noise, 'cause I love to hear the sound of my own voice. Blankly stare at me from behind your drinks. Let's see if this joker's as good as he thinks.
Hi everybody, John here. It's been a short while. I think this video I'm going to make today is perhaps a little different from ones that I've made before. I'm going to try and attempt to do a album review, and it's quite a special album that I'm going to attempt to review as well. I don't think I've done an album review before, so here goes. So I've recently made contact with one or two old friends from my student days in Portsmouth, and one friend in particular, if I understand right, I think he did the same course that I did at Portsmouth, but he did it the year ahead, so he finished the year before I did. And I got to know him because I believe, he hooked up with one of my flatmates. I had a flatmate from Birmingham, and she was a very nice young lady, and this chap also hails from Birmingham, Warsaw, I believe, or I could be wrong. I think I remember him telling me once that's where he came from. They hooked up, and so I got to know Adrian that way. He would sort of come to our flat and hang out, and if we had parties, he was there, and so I got to be sort of quite friendly with him for a while. I do remember he used to, I don't remember much about his design work, to be honest with you, but I do remember he was very much into music, as much as I was at least. And he could talk about different songwriters and artists and things, and he had very strong views. He was a big fan of Prince, if I remember rightly, and we often used to sort of have debates and discussions about various albums and things like that. Anyway, so Adrian had a guitar, and he used to write songs and record them on his sort of little monophonic tape recorder, and on occasions I think I was exposed to those songs, and to be honest with you, I didn't really take them very seriously. It sounded like anybody else, just strumming on a nylon string acoustic guitar, singing into a monophonic tape recorder. I think Adrian took them, for him it was part of his art at the time, but for me at the time it just felt like, well, it sounded a bit like the last one, I didn't really take it very seriously. Anyway, I think it's been over 30 years since we last sort of met and had contact, so it was really nice to sort of make contact with Adrian again online, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that he's got a YouTube channel where he is making his songs still pretty much in the same vein that he did when he was a student, only obviously they're a lot more polished now, and some of the things that I've seen online are really quite good. Anyway, long story short, eventually Adrian told me just a few weeks ago that he was going to send an album to me in the post that he'd made. I thought, well, brilliant, that's always a good thing, isn't it? I never say no to a free album. And he stuck in the post his album, which I'm going to attempt to review. He gave it to me and it arrived in the post, and I was on my way somewhere when it came, so I quickly opened it, and it got a little bit of rain splatter on it, but otherwise that's the CD cover, and it's really good. I was, quite taken aback. Initially, I listened to this and got to know this album in my car, and I think there's quite a procedure, isn't there? There's an art to sort of learning to know an album. You listen to it a few times, and after maybe 2 or 3 rotations, you get this feeling of some of the motifs that come up. You start to learn some of the melodies and that. And in my car it sounded really good. Once I'd had it there for a week or 2, I took the step and brought it into my house again and played it on my Technics stereo. And wow, the whole thing just kind of exploded. It's got a very lush production, and it's got a very technically I'm not really a music reviewer, so I'm kind of feeling around in the dark here at the moment. But it's got a very lush, layered texture to a lot of the songs, and there are some, really beautiful melodies and harmonies that are sort of used throughout the songs to kind of really give that little extra to many of the songs. What I'll do is I'll talk my way through some of the tracks and sort of share my initial thoughts on what I'm hearing and my interpretation as much as I can do. I'm not really a lyrics person, never have been. There are very few songs that I could recite to you word for word. In fact, some of my favourite songs that I've ever listened to by all the different artists that I collect, I often choose not to know what the words are because sometimes it spoils it for me. I always think, Radiohead, when I sort of took the step to understand what the songs were about and listen to the lyrics, I was really disappointed because some of the songs they wrote were really, really shallow, yet the music kind of suggests that they're very, very big and, a lot of depth to their songs, like there is in their music, and there's not. So, forgive me if I don't do the words justice to in the songs. But so here's my review of the songs.
I do a lot of thinking while I'm washing up in the kitchen about all my hopes and all my dreams, all my worldly ambitions. Well, I could go anywhere if I want to, don't need no one's permission. But I'm too tired to get a life, so I just watch television. Well, I'm alive, but I will die. It's a serious condition. There's no such thing as permanence, only temporary positions. Well, now I know there's no escape. I can concentrate on living and make the most of what I got, for all that I've been given.
So, track 1 is the title track of the album. It's called Temporary Position. I couldn't really tell you what it's about. I'll read you a line what Adrian wrote in his email. Basically, I think about the album, but I guess it's pretty much the idea of this song as well. It says, "Thanks for your feedback. It must be. I did it as an overview for an arc of life, looking for fame, success, and position, and then finding the pursuit hollow, finding comfort in the simple things. Trite but true." You get the feeling, I think, from a lot of Adrian's songs that there's there's a huge amount of reflection in what he's singing about. And Temporary Position, I think, really, about this sort of constant sort of change and evolution of life. Finding it very hard to find sort of anything sort of a permanent kind of state of being, perhaps. I don't know if we ever really do find that, you know. So, and that's what I think the song is about. And it's got a strong line in the song. It says, "No such thing as permanence, only temporary positions." There's a lot of, I guess, a good introduction to the album, because there's some beautiful melodies in here, and that layering thing that I've spoken about, and you know, the quality of the production of this is very, very strong, and I think it does a huge amount to really lift the songs into you know, into sort of second or third gear, which is lovely to experience.
What do you want the most? Have a girl, the teaser starts to show. Have a girl that you like to play. Cause if you don't, you'll never know. What do you want the most? When you're tired of being low, you like to play. Come on, baby, always have a girl. What do you want the most? You say no, the teaser starts to show. Have a girl that you like to play. Because it really is just a what do you want the most? Decide to captain, to start to hero. You like to play. Come on, baby, always have a girl.
Song number 2 is called Yes or No, question mark. I've written a note here. I can't tell you what it's about. Sorry. I have listened to it, I have tried, but my mind just wanders. But it's musically, it's a big burst of music. It's a lovely piece, and yeah, very up and up tempo, and sort of feeling very good. I like it a lot.
Blankly stare at me from behind your drinks. Let's see if this joker's as good as he thinks. Nobody's here to see, and this place is nearly empty, and they haven't turned off their TV. One day this gig will be legendary and older than I wanna be. But when I'm standing on here, I feel young and I'm free.
Number 3 was Ladies and Gentlemen. I think that seems to be a commentary about performing. What I envision is Adrian standing on stage, because he goes out and he does these different open mic sessions in various different pubs and clubs in and around Birmingham. I'm sure he's even performed, you know, in different places. But he seems to describe the situation of being on stage, and people perhaps don't know what to expect, and their blank expressions on their faces, and he's sort of bearing his soul to them, and sometimes it's all that he can expect is that the person behind the bar might turn the television off while he's performing, sort of thing. It's a nice song, very heartfelt, and I think you can feel a sense of desolation, or you can feel a sense of being up there on stage alone, and wanting to form a bond with your audience, but you don't really know if that's going to happen, and perhaps sometimes it doesn't.
When I was someone I could never be sure, why all these people talking to me like before?
Okay, track number 4 is the trouble of being someone. Again, quite a deep look at a situation. I think I can only assume that that's about something to do with relationships or whatever. Sorry, Adrian, I can't tell you what that's about. I don't know, but it is a lovely song, and yeah, the album at this point is just progressing along a really sort of a nice sort of tempo, very nice quality. Each song brings with it its sort of production value, which is, I think, just so lovely to hear. Track number 5 is a song called Ducks. Now, I particularly like this one. It's what I call a circular song. It's like one of those songs that seems to kind of, and I'm sure it didn't, this is no commentary on how it's been made or anything like that, but it sounds like it's already been written before it's written, if you like. It's sort of like a song that writes itself. Other songs that I would call circular songs is, if you're familiar with May You Never by John Martin, or Panama Hat by Eric Bibb. They're sort of short, sweet songs, very simple, and they seem to kind of form a circle, a perfect circle from start to finish, and that's it, and the song's over, and it's sort of a lovely sort of, you know, a lovely message, very well sort of very well executed. And so Ducks, as I understand it, is it's about spending a time with your child. I can just imagine Adrian spending time with one of his children when they were perhaps very small, feeding the ducks and just enjoying that moment. You know, so often or not, we forget, don't we, to really sort of savour these moments, and we forget to enjoy them. But obviously, I think Adrian had that experience at some stage with one of his children, and made this song about it, which is lovely.
Tomorrow shall we go and feed the ducks, 'cause feeding ducks don't cost that much. And take a little stale bread out with us, 'cause feeding ducks don't cost that much. We could have adventures in empty shopping centers when all the other big children are busy doing their schooling. I'm gonna show you all that I know about the world in which we live, how and why and what it is.
So the next song is Through the Days and Back to Bed. I feel that this is perhaps the second song of 3 that has sort of children or sort of childhood in focus. It's kind of, my interpretation of the songs, it's kind of sort of a whimsical kind of rush through the day, and then ultimately it's all about getting back to the comfort of the bed that you left. You had to sort of pull yourself up to go through the day, and you managed it, and now you can go back to bed again. There's a beautiful thing about that, in that Adrian uses the voice of his daughter, I believe, to sort of bring the track into life, sort of at its intro, and she says, I think, at the end, finished at the end, and that's a lovely song. It's got a very sort of nice childhood sort of quality about it. I like that. And the 7th song on the album, which is the 3rd one of the track about children and childhood, I think, is called For the Sake of the Children, which I believe is Adrian's own experience of perhaps having parents that weren't very happily married when he was a child and the effect that it had on him. He sort of has a very strong message there that he thinks that in those circumstances it's better for the marriage to discontinue, if anything, if only to save whatever harm may be being done to the children that they're trying to protect through staying married. Yeah, I can't really speak more to that because I don't have that experience, but quite plainly Adrian has, and he writes about that quite nicely.
Once upon a time when I was smaller than I am, my mom and dad once loved each other, and that's how I began. Now I know that I'm never gonna see them back together in the same room again, 'cause all I can remember from the time they spent together was a lot of arguing. But once upon a time in a faraway land that I once knew, a man and a woman didn't realize what a mess they had got into. It took 20-odd years to say I don't from the day they said I do. They say I do have to marry you, but I don't really want to. But it very nearly killed them, staying together for the sake of the children.
Track number 8 is Please Don't Tell Anyone Else. And this is another one of those songs that it's gone past me. It's a lovely song. I can listen to it all the time, it really is nice, but I couldn't tell you what it's about. Probably quite a personal lyric there, I think Adrian, I suppose it's about confiding something in somebody, about getting through something on your own. Let us know, Adrian, what that's about. Track number 9, There's No Better Life to Get To. This is one that I don't know if I necessarily agree with. As far as I can tell, it's about accepting life's limitations that you live with, and working with that, working with the hand that you're dealt, and perhaps looking to see the good side of what that hand may represent. I don't know if Adrian is a spiritual person. I don't know. I know he certainly wasn't when we studied it in Portsmouth. I am, however, so I have a different standpoint on this sort of thing. But it's a nice song, and it's very sort of thoughtfully put together, and well executed. It is. I keep on saying that, but the production of these songs really do blow me away. It's really good. And there's a kind of Beatlesque quality to this song as well, which I think is really important. Lots of lush layering. It starts off quite sort of lo-fi, and then the sort of the big production kicks in, and you got the really lovely layering.
I try my hardest and I do my best. I've given all I can, I've nothing left. And what have I got to show for it? A whole lot of nothing. I've read the magazines and bought the dreams, idolizing the celebrities. But now it seems that like you and me, stuck in reality. There's no better life to get to. Every
And then the last track is The Last Person I Want to See. And that's another one of those songs that I don't necessarily understand. My assumption is that it's about, you know, you say that the phrase, "You're the last person I want to see," may sound like, you know, quite a negative thing. You don't want to see that person really at all. But yeah, I wonder if what Adrian is saying in that song is that he does want you to be the last person he sees. Like, if he dies, he wants to spend that last moment with you. That's my interpretation of it. Sorry if that's wrong, but it's a lovely song. All in all, you know, that last song there, and I might be wrong, there seems to be sort of a musical reference to tracks that sort of have come on earlier in the album. When I played this in the car, I did, you know, before I knew the music, before I knew the songs, I did wonder if it was some kind of a, you know, like a concept album type thing, because I could see threads happening throughout the album. But I don't know if it is. But that last song does seem to me, at least to my ears, to have some reference to some of the motifs that are happening throughout the, you know, through the album. But it's a lovely song, and there you go. And yeah, and fittingly, the album finishes with Adrian strumming his ukulele. So I'll just say, on this album, Adrian plays ukulele, and he sings. But I understand that the rest of the music is pretty much paid by his friends, or his I suppose you would say his band, or perhaps his producers had a hand in this, I'm not sure. So in the album there's a picture of Adrian standing on a step ladder, and I'll read you what the words say. It says, "All songs, vocals and ukulele by Adrian Harvey, special guest vocals by Sheila Harvey," so I think that's his daughter. Nearly everything else by Simon Ash, and I think it's right to say that Simon Ash was perhaps the producer of the album. Inner photograph by Stuart Parker, front cover photograph by Peter Ashton, and there's another beautiful picture, temporary position, came with the album. So that's really cool. Back side of the album, front side, with the additional rain splatter when I opened this on the way to get into my car. Okay, so that's my review. Really nice album. Really happy that you sent this to me, Adrian, and I'll see what I can do to put some links there to Adrian's channel on YouTube. He's got a few tracks that he's even performed and made sort of videos to. I think there's even 1 or 2 performance videos too. Yeah, that's great. I'm not going to give it marks out of 10, because I'll give it 10. It's just a really great record. It reminds me very much of some of the music that I like, you know, Paddy McLoone from Prefab Sprouts. There's yeah, I think I've even mentioned to Adrian my interest in the Lilac Time and Stephen Duffy, you know, so there's a kind of essence, for me, to my ears, there's an essence of those things in the music that Adrian's made on his album. And I did actually ask Adrian if he'd made any other albums, and I think he said he'd actually made 6. So I look forward to getting the next one day. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. It was fun to sit in front of the camera again. Haven't done it for a while. I probably should pull my finger out and make some more videos. Good fun to know. I forget how fun it is when I'm not doing it. Okay, check out my next video. Bye.
When I wake up in the morning to just before I fall asleep, you're the first to stand, the last person out.